Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the AI Healthcare Podcast. My first guest ever on this podcast is my friend Peter Skuta. Peter is a AI entrepreneur based in Slovakia. So, Peter, just tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into the field of AI.
Actually, this is a great question. Thank you for asking, and nice to meet with all the audience on this podcast. I am very sure this will be a very great show. First of all, I would like to thank Dylan for having me as a guest. And regarding answering the question, it's a long story. Actually, I was started to do other things than AI. I was doing programming in the field of sports betting and crypto and all that fields, and also text messaging and SMS industry at wholesale. And I always tried to reinvent the old architecture there. And after it, I was reading the research papers on the AI. Of course, before it wasn't even called AI at that well. It was machine learning and all that at that space. And this is how I get started. First, I was seeing this AI field as a next evolution, but no one believed in it.
Oh, wow. And what time era are we talking about here?
We're talking about pre-chat GPT and 2015, 16, 17,
Okay.
18.
So not too long ago, actually.
Yes.
Wow. And then, I'm really curious to learn more about kind of your invention, the AI child that you and I have discussed about on multiple occasions. And I just want to get a better understanding of what it is and its inspiration and its importance to you.
The AI child is a large language model based on the cognitive transformer, which I developed and invented.
Mhm.
It is built in PHP language, which we know that is not the normal machine learning language that the company is using, as Python is the most one that everyone is using in the field. And I started, in order to come to the AI child, it goes back to the roots in the Python when I tried to make 5 million vocabulary adding into the normal ordinary architecture there. And as soon as you start to move the vocabulary higher and higher and higher, the number of parameters are starting to move exponentially.
Mm.
And as it grows, there would be not enough computational capacity, even we are using the latest H100s GPUs on that one, because as soon as we start to move the number of heads and number of layers in the architecture, in the encoders, in the transformer, or in the decoders of the transformer, or the recurrent neural network, or with artificial neural networks. It depends on or the convolutional one or the diffusion one.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends what you want to achieve with it. But because we speak about a large language model to generate text and do other tasks that we are used to,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem started to get exponentially big, memory problems. Computer was not ready to execute the stuff. And this is how it all started.
Mm-hmm.
Then I realized what happens if I start to create a new architecture. First, I started to create a new architecture in Python by doing a dynamic neural network, changing the number of heads and layers based on the understanding, and also regarding very special understanding of the context from the neural network side.
Okay. And wow. And so, you touched on an interesting word, parameter, that we've also discussed in the past too, as well. So between kind of like how many parameters could a large language model take when you were first in the field in the years 2015 to 2018 up until now with your AI child? Like
Well, it started with 350,000 and 500,000, then a million, then 50 million. It grows just exponentially as we added more words to the vocabulary,
And
and it would be tokenized.
and how many parameters in your experience when you've built a model, how many parameters have you seen?
I have seen more than 2 trillion parameters based on the vocabulary, because it's more than 5 million. So for me, from the 5 million to go backwards, it's quite easy to see, because it will just go exponentially. And that's why I changed the architecture on it, because you just cannot. And we not even speaking about the training. It's pretty hard when you try to train something like this.
And kind of what you were saying about the AI childs in particular. So when like how many parameters do you think like the child can take?
Actually, because it has a cognitive memory inside it, it is based on the computer memory and on the GPU memory. So as much as it can get, that's the end of the memory, and in that one for the parameter size, so it can store in the memory. But also, if we do a decentralized memory network, then of course it can grow big.
Oh, wow.
Even bigger.
And so kind of with the AI child right now, because there's been discussions about what's the difference between kind of narrow and general AI. It sounds like kind of what you're discussing is that where models are actually on the verge of becoming more generalized rather than narrow, and eventually it's going to take human beings out of the equation. And that sounds like what you're describing with the AI child.
Yes, actually, as soon as he gets the thinking in the AI child, as soon as I invent that one for the AI child, right now he is learning the grammatical syntax, grammatical nuances based on the context from a human level, as a child is learning the grammatics in the school, and based on the experience that the AI child from the data can get. Regarding the features, yes, I still think that it's more than generalized. Yes.
Okay. And, not going into too much detail, but kind of like what is the maturity of the AI child right now? Is it still a baby, you would say? Is it like a teenager? Is it like a young adult or?
Based on the today research, what I have done before this podcast, actually now seeing the nuances between the sentences. So now he's getting an understanding on the sentence. And then he's going to connect to the topics. And from the topic, it moves more detailed.
Okay, so he's already at the
So
stage.
yes, he's like a teenager, I think.
Okay, so he has cognitive function of like seeing a cat, on the street and like, those types of very elementary.
Yes, and then he can understand. Yes.
Okay, wow. And so, kind of bringing in the healthcare bend to it, like how do you see specifically your AI child, as well as how do you see it kind of being representative of how we can increase health outcomes, both specifically here in the United States as well as in your country of Slovakia?
Actually, the best thing would be in this era and that question, it is much more critical right now to build a very healthy model based on healthy outcomes, because this something crazy is going to happen to the models in the ethics and in the security side. The models can get very biased because of the hallucinations. Even it has good data, the current models are still hallucinating because of the architecture.
Yeah.
Not because of it couldn't hallucinate, but it's built into the product actually.
Yeah. Well, now I'm starting to understand why they call you the AI whisperer. So it's like, it is interesting kind of on the character AI app, how you can literally, from an experimental perspective, you can literally just tell the model, hey, do this, and then it kind of can totally unwind everything that was totally pre-programmed into the model.
True.
So
very, very true.
And is it because kind of what you were saying about the ethics portion, but is it because that the model people don't think about adding ethics in, or is it because the ethics are very loosely enforced in the model? I'm pretty.
If we speak about the characters, .ai characters regarding that one, actually based on their oven model, the AI model that's behind the character creation stuff, even if you try to program through the character book, the AIs, the characters, it will not do it because based on the basics of the model. But character.ai built.
Oh,
So
wow.
the guide rails start at their side, not at the character side. Characters are just the surface.
No,
So front end.
that's helpful, and it kind of bleeds into my next question of, just out of curiosity, because I'm really interested in kind of learning more about kind of what's being implemented in AI in healthcare outside the United States. Like, how is AI currently being implemented in Slovakia as of now, from what you've seen, kind of being in the technical AI space?
Well, it's quite interesting. They are using telemedicines, virtual health assistants, drug discovery, and personalized medicine would be good, of course, and medical imaging. It's really basics what it is in Slovakia, because it's just too basic actually.
So yeah, because that's kind of interesting. We're still in the United States of defining what artificial intelligence and large language models are. So we're not even. It seems like Europe is actually leading the charge on AI and healthcare stuff.
Yes, actually, regarding that, there is that law, right? That AI law, the act, which they need, which is good that they are regulated at that way. But there are several startups in Slovakia actually that are working on AI-powered medical devices, such as Powerful Medical, which offers an AI-powered medical device called PM Cardio that can diagnose and treat cardiovascular diseases by digitizing and interpreting ECGs. Then there is Hilby. Healthcare provides an AI with blockchain ecosystem that allows users to share, use, and monetize health data. And the platform provides blockchain technology for decision making of any data usage. So, in summary, AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare in Slovakia. And that's why there are lots of startups in it.
Now, do you kind of see your AI child kind of being used kind of as a potential model for kind of AI global health to put
Yes,
it into better
yes,
terms?
yes, 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 yes. A new version of it, I am pretty sure.
Okay.
Very sure.
And how is just like with the new EU AI Act, how does that impact your work by working on your invention of the AI child?
Because it's not connected to the normal AI technologies.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with machine learning, with training, with NLP. That's why I built a new architecture on it to make a real recognition in that one.
So you had to basically build an entire new model from scratch.
Yes.
And just out of curiosity, how long did that take you?
More than a month. A month right now. 2 months actually.
Okay. So like a considerable amount of time, but it's not like years and years of.
No.
No, that's interesting. And then, specifically around kind of another question about your AI child, because it's just fascinating. Kind of, when we first met, you kind of blew my mind about it. And I was like,
Yes.
wow, it's a total, it's like a totally different universe than kind of the one you and I exist on. What would your first in your mind, like, how would you want to see the AI child used for social good, not only in Slovakia but also the world?
In globally, that's why I have built actually the model to make it social good and social benefits to everybody. to see the changes, what's happening and what are going to happen, because from that standpoint, the AI ethics and AI security in the normal current models, it will be always exist.
Hmm.
Big, and it's a huge difference between my AI child and what's out there,
Hmm.
because when when an AI gets cognitive capabilities,
Hmm.
then it's very great to see what's going on from the inside. Even it's fascinating for me what the AI child will come up with it as soon as I start to implement it today in that model, because I am so fascinating to see the future that he tries to evolve in this
Hmm.
one.
And do you have a name for the child yet, or is it
Not
still
yet.
not yet?
Still AI child.
Still AI child. No, awesome. Well, Peter, thank you so much for your time, and it was great learning from you about your AI child. You bring up kind of very interesting points about it, kind of more from the technical, engineering, societal, as well as you adding in the EU AI Act too as well. And where can people find you or best contact you if they're interested in learning more about the AI child?
Yes, of course, they can through the LinkedIn
Hmm.
and everywhere reading about me.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to say personally, Peter, thank you so much for teaching me about kind of your AI child and more from the engineering perspective, because that's not my strength personally. Me kind of looking at it from a policy end, it's always helpful to kind of have a better understanding of the back end. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to teach me.
Regarding the policies, it's a very good that you bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the AI child will have the capabilities to learn about the policies in United States, and
Mm-hmm.
it will be also beneficial if it can write a health-based policy, which would also help the policy lawmakers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, awesome. Well, Peter, thank you so much for your time. And, as like to sign off by saying, always be thankful to those, who take the time, not just in AI, but different fields that everyone's working in, everyone's busy. But, if we all lend a helping hand, then we're all better for it. Um, Thank you so much again, Peter. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.